Go for it.
Good evening. I hereby call the regular meeting of the Administrative Appeals Board. Someday I'll get this right. Of October 25th, 2023 to order. Board's secretary, please call the roll.
Board Member King,
Sorry.
here. Board Member Parker,
Here.
Vice Chair Panessa,
We are ready.
and Chair Sinclair.
Here.
Board members present, facilities absent.
Abe, do you want to introduce yourself so people know who you are, since so much of this is on Zoom?
Yeah, Abe Sanchez, Deputy City Attorney.
And Cassandra,
Cassandra Edney, Deputy City Clerk.
which we'll get you in a minute. Our first item is the acceptance of the agenda. The board can discuss and may amend the order of the agenda. I would entertain a motion and a second for the acceptance of the agenda. Item 17 has asked us to withdraw the appeal.
Item 7.
What did I say?
17.
I used to have a mind. Item 7 is withdrawn on the agenda, so that will be subject to that modification. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there discussion?
No.
Board member, I'm sorry, Vice Chair Panessa,
Aye.
Board Member Parker,
Aye.
Board Member King,
Aye.
Chair Sinclair,
Aye.
passes 4-0.
This is the item. This next item is public comment, and since there's nobody here, we'll see if there's anybody in Zoom. This time has been set aside for members of the public to address the board on items of general interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. 3 minutes will be assigned to each speaker. Although the board values your comments pursuant to the Brown Act, the board generally cannot take any action on items not listed on the posted agenda. Testimony for hearings will be taken only at the time of the hearing. Board Secretary, please begin the public comment period.
We do not have anybody registered for public comment.
Then we'll go right into the appeal of the administrative decision that Pink Paloma LLC, CO Rebecca N. Cafiero is permanently ineligible to operate a vacation rental in the city of Palm Springs, and the administrative fine of $5,000 for operating an unregistered vacation rental property located at 2723 North Junipero Avenue, Palm Springs, California. Board Secretary, please ensure the city staff and the appellant understand that their testimony is under oath.
We do have a signed affidavit from city staff in person. Anyone on Zoom who desires to testify under this appeal hearing, under the laws of perjury. If you choose to speak, you hereby accept and acknowledge that your testimony shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
City staff, you can please present your report.
Actually, thank you, Chair Sinclair. Good evening, members of the board, my fellow city staff, members of the public joining us for tonight's hearing. My name is Mitch Navhan, and I'm the code compliance supervisor who oversees the vacation rental enforcement program for the city. Before you this evening is a staff report for the property located at 2723 North Junipero Avenue. It was found that this property was advertising and operating as a vacation rental on the date of May 11th, 2023, without having first obtained a vacation rental registration certificate. The elements that led to the issuance of citation AB 0515 are listed in the staff report. Additionally, the code officer who investigated the property is here to provide further testimony of what led to the citation issuance. At this time, I ask that issuing officer Jason Whitaker, who's joining us via Zoom tonight, unmute and provide his testimony.
Officer Whitaker, would you please begin your testimony?
Oh. Jason, hold on 1 second. You're on mute.
I apologize. So good evening, members of the board, my fellow city staff and members of the public present for tonight's hearing. My name is Jason Whitaker. I'm a code compliance officer for the city of Palm Springs. On Thursday, May 11th, 2023, while conducting a review of available rental listings in the city of Palm Springs on the web-based booking platform Airbnb.com, I came across an advertisement titled Pink Paloma, a Palm Springs pool villa, which can be found as attachment number 5 in the staff report. While reviewing the advertisement, it stated that the 3-bedroom home was being offered for up to 8 guests. I was unable to find a city ID number on the advertisement as required for a registered vacation rental property. So I reviewed the photos contained within the ad and was able to positively identify the property address as 2723 North Junipero Avenue. Upon review of the city's vacation rental registration records, I confirmed that the property identified did not hold a vacation rental registration certificate with the city. I then sent a message via the Airbnb.com contact host feature, which can be found in attachment number 6 of the staff report, inquiring about a 3-night stay arriving June 16th, 2023, and departing on Monday, June 19th, 2023. My message stated, "Hi there, cute place. We are looking to book for a birthday getaway weekend from June 16th through June 19th, 2023. And I wanted to see if the check-in time is flexible as we will be flying into Palm Springs. Thanks." The host, Pink Paloma, responded to my inquiry with the following unique response. "Yes, absolutely. You can check in complimentary by 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, no charge, or anytime after 8 a.m. for an additional $50. After receiving this message, the host sent me an invitation to book a short-term stay for the dates of June 16th through June 19th, 2023. Approximately 24 hours later, once the invitation to book had expired via Airbnb, I received a message again from the host, Pink Paloma, which stated, "You're welcome to go ahead and book directly." In addition to the invitation to book a short-term stay at this property, there was clear evidence to support the fact that this property was operating as a short-term vacation rental while the property renovations were still being performed. In attachment number 5, pages 46 through 52 of the staff report, there were 16 guest reviews beginning December 2022 through May 2023. Specifically, there were 4 guest reviews between the months of January and April 2023 that mentioned short-term stays with specific mentions of a perfect weekend getaway, bachelorette party, etc. Going back to attachment number 5, page 46 of the staff report, a guest review from Megan in May of 2023 specifically points out several issues with the property. The host, Rebecca, provided a lengthy response to this particular guest review, and one of the statements made by the host references the landscaping areas around the pool by saying, quote, "Our final landscaping, artificial turf, and hardscape is being installed hopefully in late June, early July, based on shipping time. That is why all guests prior to the full landscape completion received promotional pricing. All landscape photos currently are accurate," unquote. Upon review of the appellant's written statement, which can be found as attachment number 3, pages 14 through 15 of the staff report, there is specific mention that during the final phase of the property's renovation, they were readying for a final inspection, then received the notice of violation. This clearly demonstrates that there was intent to rent the property short-term. The appellant was aware of the city's ordinance regarding short-term vacation rentals, and even stating that they were, quote, "ensuring the TOT taxes were earmarked for payment once the certificate was procured," unquote. As a result of my findings contained within the advertisement, the unique response to my inquiry, as well as the host invitation to book a 3-night stay, I found that the property located at 2723 North Junipero Avenue was in violation of PSMC 5.25.040A, operating a vacation rental without a vacation rental registration certificate, and I issued administrative citation number AB0515 to the property owner on title, Pink Paloma LLC, care of Rebecca Cafirio. That will conclude my testimony. I will hand it back over to Mitch. I'm available to answer any questions that you may have.
Mitch, anything more?
No, Chair, I'll conclude what the city has to present.
Any questions of the staff from the board? Michael?
Officer Whitaker, you had said that, there was clear indication that she was planning to pay or either collect or pay TOT. Could you, explain that again, please? Because I know without a permit, you can't pay it to the city, but
Exactly. So when I was reviewing the packet for tonight's hearing, going through the appellant's written appeal statement, in that explanation was in that person's own words that they had earmarked TOT payments to be paid once the registration certificate was to be procured.
Okay,
That makes sense.
so, yes, it does, thank you. And then, the other question I have is, so you said they were in the process of getting or applying for a permit. They had gotten their inspection, is that correct?
No.
No,
No,
and
to
I
my-
can answer that one.
Oh, go ahead.
So no, and I checked with city staff to see if we had received a completed application for this particular address in preparation for this hearing. And they confirmed that they did not have a record of a submitted or completed application for this.
Okay, so she had not even applied at that point. Okay, thank you.
Can I just make one clarification, just to be sure I'm right? There's two letters in here, one's from the appellant, and one's from the construction, okay. I think it's the contractor who said something, oh no, they both say about the TOT, okay, I got you, thank you.
Anything else, Jocelyn? Anything else? David?
No, no questions.
At this time, I would like to open the appeal hearing. The appellant is invited to speak for up to 10 minutes. Any members of the public who desire to speak on this appeal hearing show up to 3 minutes to speak. If any member of the public testifies, the appellant will be invited to provide a rebuttal for up to 2 additional minutes. I'd like to open this hearing at this point.
The appellant is on Zoom.
Hi, good evening, members of the board and city. Thank you so much for your time this evening. And I'm standing here very grateful for the opportunity to share my feelings, and also with a lot of feelings of responsibility, because I absolutely own the fact that I made a mistake. My intention was good, my execution was not. So I'm Rebecca. Palm Springs is a really special place for me. It's not just a place on a map. It is like, I feel like a soul home. I moved there in 2010 after a divorce and getting like completely wiped out in the real estate market. I, at the time, was in real estate in Las Vegas, and just found Palm Springs to be a place that I rebuilt. And unfortunately, because I had gone through and had a lot of loss in real estate, I wasn't able to buy a home there while I lived there. And even though I moved away due to job opportunities, I even came back in 2013 and had my wedding there, and it just continued to be a really special place. In fact, starting in, I think, 2017 or 18, I began hosting yearly retreats for women, for female entrepreneurs. And actually last year, a year and a half ago, we did a buyout of the Saguaro Hotel. It was when Alt Summit didn't renew, and I brought nearly 100 women at that event to the Palm Springs area, many of them that had never been there, and bringing hundreds of thousands of dollars into the economy there. And I've always chosen Palm Springs, not just because it's magical and it feels restorative, but because it's just such a special place in my heart. And when the opportunity to buy, I call it the Pink Paloma, but 2723 North Junipero, when that came last year, I thought I was priced out of Palm Springs, as the market has been crazy, well, until the last few months. And I had the opportunity to buy a really bizarre home. I don't know if you know, but it's a manufactured home on real property. It's very quirky, very unique, was not financeable. And it was a project I took on with a lot of love and hope, and probably more excitement than intelligence at points, and completed the renovation project. That area, in fact, is definitely going through maybe of a gentrification. There were homeless people living next door. The home even got broken into multiple times while under construction, and then even after construction was complete. But I just knew like what my vision was for it. And I do want to own the fact I completely made a mistake. I was so excited and made the mistake I should know from having a bit of a background in construction, to always anticipate the worst and not, hope for the best. And my contractor thought the home would be completely finished by November. And even though we got our certificate of occupancy, there was still some work on the exterior that needed to be done in order to get, and I don't know the proper terms, but it was something he needed to get like some type of sign off so that I could make the application for the short-term rental. I was aware that there were restrictions from the time I bought it. I think they changed from either 36 or 34 turnovers or doors. I'm not sure what the proper term is. And it had changed during that time. And I was like, that's a setback, but that's okay. We can make this work. But I got really excited and hasty and did not understand the gravity of like the fine print that while I was saving the TOT tax and everything, I should have gotten or was required to get that sign off prior to renting. I kind of thought, again, I own that this is my ignorance and responsibility, that as long as by the end of this year, it was all squared away, that it would be fine. And that I was not trying to, take any money from the city. And so I listed it before renovations were complete with that anticipation that it would be complete. In fact, my first guest is actually a friend of mine, a client, and she's like, I can just book it. And I'm like, I would love to get the rating. So please like go through Airbnb. And I just want to say I didn't understand the fine terms, the responsibilities, the regulations, and that is my fault. And I acknowledge that oversight and I take responsibility. I'm not appealing the fine. I'm appealing the ban, because I understand that your time, the city's time, the time for Jason, to do his due diligence, like I have no problem with that. And I understand why it's important to adhere to regulations. And I want to bear that financial responsibility for my mistake. But what I'm appealing is for today is like understanding and a second chance. I have this love for Palm Springs, and I was actually at the property last night. I'm in San Diego today for an event. I was walking up to the new community. I can't remember the name of it, but the really modern community. And I was like, even with knowing I had tonight, I was like, I just have such a profound love for this area. And my intention has always been to really positively contribute. In fact, we did another hotel buyout in March for another event I'm having there. Continuing to bring hundreds of women and economic activity into the area. And that's what my vision was for the Pink Paloma, to give a place for not only myself to go with my family and my friends. I'm going to be there next weekend with a group of girlfriends, but also for people that are visitors to fall in love with Palm Springs. And on the ratings that I am in violation for, I think I have 4.9 stars because I went above and beyond. My regret is I should have gone above and beyond with understanding the necessity of what I did not. Since receiving it, I removed the listing from Airbnb, and then the reservations I had, I reached out and I said I either need to cancel or move it to a 30-day, and I still honor those for a longer term, and continue to take all the taxes out, even though I'm not sure with 28 days if I still pay TOT, but I took all those funds with the anticipation of paying. And I'm really committed to learning from this, to ensuring that I'm fully compliant going forward, and just want the opportunity to give back and to contribute and continue to share the city with others, and would be incredibly grateful for a second chance. So thank you for your time.
Anything else?
I have like all the Airbnb information. If you need any of that, I know if that's requested, I'm happy to provide that. And I don't think there's anything else. No, thank you.
Thank you. Questions from the board? David, you'd like to start?
Sure. Thank you for your comments. I noticed in your response, your letter, you mentioned that you're now pivoting to monthly rentals, and you said that, I think, in your response as well. So the good thing is, no matter what we decide here this evening, is you can still do that. So regardless of our decision here.
Thank you.
I do have a question for you though. I'm conflicted with your comments about the construction being the reason for the delay to apply for the registration.
Sure.
And yet there's 16 reviews during that time, which seems a little excessive. I mean, maybe based on your comments, I could buy one, but 16, I'm a little.
Absolutely. I can absolutely clarify that. So, originally my contractor thought that everything would be done like November-ish. The inside was incomplete. So we had the certificate of occupancy, had it photographed. The exterior still had quite a bit of work to be done, not things that would make it unsafe, but would make it a bit unsightly. Some of the things where they needed to finish, there was a low pony wall, but they needed to finish the wall to 6 feet, especially actually to keep out some of the transient people that broke in multiple times. And so there was a few other things, and he said he needed to get that completed in order, well, it didn't affect the C of O or me taking out my mortgage. It affected the city inspection. I don't know the particulars of that, but we had ordered a breeze block and we had a little bit, like enough for one line, but it was unfinished. And so we kept getting delayed, one, because the block that he'd ordered, I think, was being sent from China. And it got to the point I just said, can we just do something else? We bought actually black breeze block and just spray painted it white. And so that was most of it. The comments that Jason made earlier about the construction. So there was a few phases of the outdoor construction. The most important one was the one to finish the gate and the wall for the inspection so that I could turn in the city application. The other ones that the guests were talking about, the turf and things, those were cosmetic. Those would not have stopped. I mean, those would not have stopped renting had I been in compliance. It was more just to let guests know that it was a bit of a dusty area around the pool, and I was waiting for turf and a few other items of landscaping that had not been done yet. Does that answer the question?
No,
No, not really. What I'm really getting at is why not just stop until the construction things you just mentioned were complete.
Oh,
But
got it.
It looks like based on Airbnb reviews, you rented it out 16 times to short-term rental while all this stuff is going on anyway. So why not just,
Absolutely.
the question is, why didn't you apply for a permit?
there you go.
I was, so my contractor, who was wonderful,
It's nothing to do with the contract. Why did you not apply for a permit?
I was informed, which is my responsibility, I should have double checked with the city, that I needed that inspection that he was going to get signed off on from the city. He applied for that. So there should be some type of request from him on the address that he needed that. And then once I had that, I could submit it with the application.
So why did you rent without a permit?
I didn't understand, and again, that's my responsibility, that I could not rent until it was done.
Jocelyn, do you have questions, or David, do you have more?
Go ahead.
I have comments, but if there's questions, look at them, answer first.
Michael?
Go ahead,
or,
David, did you have anything else?
I was just gonna do it based on the last question about what the chair just asked you. I'm struggling understanding, not understanding the requirement when you said in your letter, you were collecting the TOT taxes for each of those 16 businesses all along.
Well,
So
I guess what I understood, or I thought, and again, this was my my assumption that was flawed, is that the rental application is to ensure that whoever is renting the home is paying the taxes. So they're not, doing something shady, so the city's not getting paid and is not losing out on revenue. So I understood. I'm like, of course, you've got to apply so that you get a number, and then the city's able to track, the rentals that are happening to make sure that the money is being put in. So my intention was never to not have the city paid. I didn't understand that it couldn't be done by the end of the year. I guess I kind of looked at it like, well, as long as you pay your taxes by the end of the year, whether you pay them quarterly or yearly, it doesn't really matter. And again, I take responsibility for
Thank you.
not contacting the city to.
Michael, do you have questions?
Yeah, so I just have one. So you had talked about, the application for the permit, and that you had, maybe not understood the gravity of what you're doing. At what point in that process were you looking at the city's application paperwork, if you will?
I had printed it out and had it kind of filed. So as soon as that I got the inspection from Randy, the contractor, and he had told me that, I want to say back in April, like the work was done, and he had reached out to the city. He said there was some type of new process. I don't know if it was an online process. It was down. Again, I can pull up the text, but or provide the text if you'd like. And that he was going to be reaching out to whoever it is that signs off on the inspections. And I actually assumed that had triggered the whole thing. Maybe it did not, but when he reached out, it was the same week. So I assume that he still had it signed off on, but again, I would need to check back with him. It's been quite a while.
Okay, but I guess what I'm asking is, did you start looking at the city's application paperwork at some point before that your contractor was finished, regardless of what he was doing with the city, I guess I want to get a sense for, were you looking at the city's paperwork before that?
I hadn't looked at it in detail. I was mostly reading a lot of the, like, I think it was back in November when the city council or whoever is the governing body that makes that decision had voted to change from the 34 or 36 nights to 20 something. And I remember going, oh my goodness, I wish I would have applied forever ago. And my contractor's like, well, you couldn't have, because we wouldn't have had this in time and you would have had to been grandfathered in. So I hadn't, again, I'm not making an excuse. The explanation, there was a lot happening in my life, health wise and personally. And I was kind of waiting until that was done to just dive in and get it all finished up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Jocelyn, anything?
I don't have questions.
All right. And this concludes that part of the hearing, and we've asked questions from the board. I'd like to open for board discussion or additional questions. Any discussion from the board?
If I could just say something like sort of for the record, also for the appellant. Just like big picture, why the city has a program like we have. It's not about the money. It's not running a business on the city side to say, we need the TOT, that's the business of running a city. The way this whole regulatory scheme for vacation rentals is set up is to manage it in a way that it doesn't go away entirely. Because there are many people in the city who don't want any. So there's somehow sort of suggestion that it would be fine as long as I'm keeping the money, and then the city would be fine because I'm gonna give them the money. The city doesn't, it's not about the money. It's about the idea here that like we have a really strict ordinance, and you're gonna hear some more about that. And there's only so much we can do. So I'm personally like in a space where it would be great to split the baby, but we can't. And when somebody says they did violate the ordinance, unfortunately, I don't see that we have any wiggle room in this.
Michael?
I would agree with what you're saying. For me, the, knowing about the TOT, what the percentage is, having to collect that. When you set up a property, and I've done this, so I know when you set up a property on Airbnb, they prompt you that your city has strict rules, make sure you're following. They may not tell you what the rules are, but they do tell you that Palm Springs is very strict. So I feel like there wasn't some effort to, kind of start that, and then there was no follow through. And at her admission, she was, she got caught renting without a permit. I feel like, if that paperwork that she must have at some point been looking at to know about all the TOT, because that's not, you wouldn't know what the percentage is, even if you weren't looking at that paperwork. That paperwork is filled with, don't even advertise until you have the permit.
The
So-
TOT was in the newspaper that I
You're
read.
done, you're done for the night. David?
No, I would agree. I'm still struggling with the concept of, well, the construction was delayed. Therefore, I couldn't get my permit, but I rented it out 16 times.
See, what I heard was that the appellant was relying on the contractor to finish, and then the appellant thought that she could rent. That's my perception. She said that a bunch of times, and that she never knew about the fact that you had to have a permit. That's my perception from what's been said tonight. May I have a motion?
I would move to uphold the fine and the ban.
Is there a second?
One second.
Would the clerk please call the roll?
Vice Chair Panessa,
Aye.
Board Member Kane,
Aye.
Board Member Parker,
Aye.
and Chair Sinclair.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0 to adopt the resolution upholding the administrative decision.
The appeal has been denied, and as Jocelyn alluded to, we're not allowed, even if we were inclined to only do half the penalty. You've admitted you were wrong. The city will be in touch with you with the arrangements to pay the fine, and at that point, this hearing's over, and we'll go on to the next hearing. Thank you. All right. Next item is number 5. Concerning the property located at 2821 North Los Felices, Circle West, number 2K-210 is an appeal of a $5,000 and administrative decision that Robert Blackshear is permanently ineligible to operate a vacation rental in the city of Palm Springs. Board Secretary, please ensure the city staff and the appellant understand their testimony is under oath.
I do have signed affidavits from city staff in person. Anyone on Zoom who desires to testify under this appeal hearing under laws of perjury, if you choose to speak, you hereby accept and acknowledge that your testimony shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Mitch, it's up to you.
Thank you, Chair.
Staff report.
Good evening, members of the board, my fellow city staff, and members of the public joining us for tonight's hearing. My name is Mitch Navhan. I'm the code compliance supervisor who oversees the vacation rental enforcement program for our city. Before you this evening is a staff report for the property located at 2821 North Los Felices Circle West, number K210. Staff has determined that the subject property does not hold a vacation rental registration certificate, but was found advertising and operating as vacation rental via the booking platform Airbnb.com on the date of August 23rd, 2023. The elements that led to the issuance of citation AB 0584 are listed in the staff report. Additionally, the code officer who investigated the property is here to provide further testimony of what led to the citation issuance. At this time, I would like to invite the issuing officer, Officer Whitaker, who is joining us via Zoom tonight, to unmute and provide his testimony.
Officer Whitaker, it's up to you at this point.
You're on mute.
You're muted.
You even said unmute.
Put that in there deliberately.
I apologize. I'll get the hang of it. So, good evening, members of the board, my fellow city staff, and members of the public present for this evening's hearing. My name is Jason Whitaker, and I'm a code compliance officer for the city of Palm Springs. On Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023, while conducting a review of available rental listings in the city of Palm Springs on the web-based booking platform Airbnb.com, I came across an advertisement titled Boho Bungalow, Downtown Palm Springs, which can be found as attachment number 5 in the staff report. While reviewing the advertisement, it stated that the 1-bedroom condo was being offered for up to 4 guests, with the booking calendar set to a 2-night minimum. I was unable to find a city ID number on the advertisement as required for a registered vacation rental property, so I reviewed the photos contained within the ad, and I was able to positively identify the property address as 2821 North Los Felices Circle West, Unit K210. Upon review of the city's vacation rental registration records, I confirmed that the property identified did not hold a vacation rental registration certificate. And I'm also familiar that this homeowners association for this community does not allow short-term vacation rentals. I then sent a message via the Airbnb.com contact host feature, which can be found in attachment number 6 of the staff report, inquiring about a 3-night stay arriving Friday, October 27th, 2023, and departing on Monday, October 30th, 2023. My message stated, "Hi, Mel. We are looking to book for the end of October. We have a small Chihuahua mix, and I wanted to ask you what the pet fee is, if there is one. This is for October 27th through October 30th, 2023. Thank you." The host, Mel, responded to my inquiry with the following unique response. "Hi, Jason. Yeah, I honestly can't remember off the top of my head. It's like $75 or something. Usually people pay the fee with the booking. Let me look it up and confirm." Right after receiving this message, I received an invitation to book a short-term stay at this property for the dates of October 27th through October 30th, 2023. I then received the following additional message from the host, Mel. "Yeah, it's $75. If you decide to book, I will send over the fee. Thanks again." As a result of my findings contained within the advertisement, the unique response to my inquiry, as well as the host invitation to book for a 3-night stay, I found the property located at 2821 North Los Felices Circle West, Unit K210, was in violation of PSMC 5.25.040A, operating a vacation rental without a vacation rental registration certificate, and I issued administrative citation number AB 0584 to the property owner on title, Robert Blackshear. This will conclude my testimony. I will hand it back over to Mitch, and I'm available to answer any questions if you have any.
Mitch, anything further?
Thank you, Chair. Nothing further to present.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
No, I don't, no questions for me.
No? Okay, I have none. This time I would like then to open the appeal hearing. The appellant is invited to speak for up to 10 minutes. Any members of the public who desire to speak on this appeal hearing shall have up to 3 minutes to speak. If any member of the public testifies, the appellant is invited to have a rebuttal of up to 2 minutes. So is this Zoom also?
The representative for the appellant is on Zoom, Dr.
Okay.
Vanessa Jackson.
If you'll introduce yourself and begin your testimony, your 10 minutes begins now.
Greetings, everyone. I am Vanessa Jackson. I'm a real estate agent. I want to first thank you for your due diligence because the owner did not know that the tenant had actually advertised the property for a short-term lease. I think you have documentation that shows that this property is leased from January the 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023 to Mel, the tenant. You also notice on page 4 of the lease, it specifically says that you cannot reassign as a sublet nor short-term rental. And if you do so, you're in violation for doing that. You will also notice in your documentation that as soon as we received the notice that we were out of compliance, a 3-day notice to cure violation or move out was presented to the tenant, along with a copy of the City of Palm Springs Special Programs Compliance Administration Certificate and the Rental Enforcement Administration Certificate. You also have copies of all the checks, the monthly rental checks that were paid by Mel, which again indicates to us that it is a long-term rental lease. You also notice that you have email trails where I provided information to Mel, asked her the question, and then asked her to agree to stop listing the property as an Airbnb, and she agreed to do that.
Is there anything else?
No, I don't know what else, unless you have questions.
Okay, well, I would ask, first of all, City Attorney, does this fall under the strict liability opinion that you've given us?
Yes, it would.
Thank you. Questions from the board?
May I ask just a follow-up question to your question of council?
Sure.
For the newbie on the team, can you explain to me I think the code says any person who operates a VCR, and then I think goes further into the subsections about the owner. So can you expand on the difference there?
Yes, that's correct. So I don't have it immediately in front of me, the memo that I sent over previously to the board, and we should get you a copy of that if you have not received it. Essentially what it boils down to is that the Palm Springs Municipal Code in the violation section, as you said, it states in plain language that any person who operates a vacation rental without a vacation rental certificate is in violation and is subject to payment of the TOT tax, as well as a fine of $5,000 and permanent ineligibility to operate a vacation rental. The language of the code, because it does not require any intent, for example, it does not say willfully or knowingly operates. It is considered a strict liability offense. And we also did find, other case law, and similar kind of code enforcement matters, in which case courts have found that these types of violations are strict liability offenses that are applied as against to the property owner. What I said in the memo as well is that, although I understand, where a landlord may be coming from with respect to violations that occur on their property by renters, landlords, have other avenues they can pursue as against to tenants that have done something like this, whether it be, in court, or whatnot. Of course, the city can't provide legal guidance to a landlord that's been affected in that capacity, and they should seek their own legal counsel. But the purpose of that is to say that the code does not allow the Administrative Appeals Board, if it determines that a violation actually took place, to grant a waiver or exemption on that basis. If property owners need to assess what remedies they have to pursue, whatever they need to pursue against a third party on their own.
Got it. Thank you for the clarification.
Any questions from the board?
So, I have one and I'm trying to find it. Oop, sorry. So I can reference it a little bit more intelligently, but as I was looking through information, I think I saw a page in here about Melissa, the tenant, that, she is a real estate agent, getting her real estate license. It's in there.
For sure, it's a public in the Airbnb stuff.
Yeah.
What,
It's there.
and the
It's
reason
your-
I guess I'm bringing that up is, I assume that is from the appellant and not the city. I'm curious, I just don't understand why that's there.
I think it was part of the Airbnb.
It's part of the
Oh.
Airbnb profile.
All right,
She put that in there, it's not something you see all the time, I think.
page is that?
It's page 70.
Thank you.
I don't. I mean,
So,
I'm assuming.
Vice Chair, if I can provide
Where did
clarification.
that come from?
So that is part of this Officer Whitaker's case file. As far as tying the advertisement to the
Oh.
property.
So
so
Officer
that
Whitaker
real estate-
approved this then.
Correct, so the page 69 of the staff report is the host profile.
Mhm.
That's included on the Airbnb advertisement, which
Got it.
says my work as real estate musician
Yeah.
artist. The following page is investigative work by our team to further establish who Mel is
Got it.
and tie them to the property.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, I have no other questions.
I have one. And is Mel still a tenant in this unit?
She is still a tenant, but we have decided to move forward with evicting her. So we're in the process of getting a lawyer.
Okay, that was one of my questions, I guess, is I think on September 15th. You issued a 3-day pay or quit notice to her. So I was curious why on October 1st, your client would have accepted a rent check.
Because I-
Answer that, I guess.
Oh. No, it's fine, because we assumed that since we had verification that she would quit, not continue to lease it as, or advertise it as an Airbnb.
Okay,
And we wanted to believe that she would do that. After further discussion, we figured that maybe it'd be in our best interest if we would get a lawyer to evict her.
okay. And then just to follow up to that, I think in one of the the initial email exchange that you had with her. She at first said, I think I'm quoting, it's not a rental, I don't know where that's coming from. Did she ever acknowledge that she was doing it?
Yes, she did. If you look at the back page, I made sure I thanked her for responding and that she needed to confirm that she would no longer advertise it as a Airbnb. It's on the very, very last page
Oh, yes, yeah.
of my email trail. Yeah,
Yeah,
it just took a little while so that we made sure that we had the right wording. We wanted to make sure that, the process was correct.
thank you.
Jocelyn, anything from you?
No.
Okay, my only comment is we've had a lot of cases like this. And we've not been able to skirt the law on strict liability, and the appellant, we've had to rule against the appellant in all of them because of that. So may I have a motion?
We want to discuss.
Oh, I thought we were discussing.
We haven't-
That was-
Oh,
that was
you
your-
did. Okay, go ahead, let's discuss.
Oh, so the testimony over, are you making that?
Yeah, the testimony.
Okay,
Yeah, she said.
Okay. so we're in the board discussion
We're in
part?
more discussion.
Okay, if I can go first, these, as I think you were starting to say. The ordinance reads that the owner is ultimately responsible. It's always my hope that an owner goes after somebody that misuses their property like this, but that's not for us to advise or tell them what they could or should do. But the bottom line is the owner's responsible per the ordinance. We all know that the ordinance is incredibly strict. It is strict by design. And this person, really, didn't do the owner any favors, but the bottom line is the owner's responsible.
Any other discussion?
I would just say, like, it's so unfortunate, and I am struggling in my mind to find a way to avoid or like work on some sort of, right, like methodology or policy for people who are, doing rentals, because we need rentals in Palm Springs to, I don't know, make this clear. Obviously, like we've said, there's other remedies for you or for that owner property, and given whatever we do tonight will ostensibly maybe be useful in whatever you do proceed with, if you do. And I think we all feel like it would be great if we could not necessarily like, fine, if you will, the property owner, but we don't have any sort of wiggle room in that. And there's no question here that the testimony wasn't about we didn't do this. Somebody did this, and so that is what it is, but it's certainly good for thought around the rental. I know the rental agreement says don't do this, but it seems like there's a lot of incentive around here, whether it's a vacation rental hotspot,
And
to
I
do that.
agree with what you're saying. It seems to me like this tenant, especially
Yeah.
bragging about her real estate background, had no intention
Yeah.
of honoring her lease. And it is, it doesn't make me happy that the owner is held responsible, but that's the way the
law.
ordinance is written.
David,
No, I think my colleague summed it up very, very well.
may I have a motion?
I move that we upheld the fine and suspension, permanent suspension, and.
There you go.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
Is
I'll second that.
there a second from Jocelyn?
Yeah.
Board Member Parker,
Aye.
Board Member King,
Aye.
Vice Chair Vanessa, and Chair Sinclair.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0 to adopt the resolution upholding the administrative decision.
Again, we've had a whole lot of these cases exactly like yours, and it's a darn shame. But like the attorney said, with regard to his opinion, that there are remedies you may pursue with
We
this,
know.
so,
Yeah,
Mhm.
do that.
and we can't
Yeah, we
advise
got it.
to do that or not,
Thank
so.
you.
Oh,
Thank
no,
you.
it will be done. Thank you so much. And thank you for your due diligence. We appreciate
right.
you. Take
Appreciate
care.
it. Okay,
Thank
the
you.
next hearing is. I'll get my bifocals turned on.
I don't think we have any more.
Whether it's.
Yeah, we have
We have 6. I think it's,
No, we're about to do 6.
oh,
6 is the appeal of the administrative decision that Sound Teaching LLC is permanently ineligible to operate a vacation rental in the city of Palm Springs. And the administrative fine of $5,000 for operating an unregistered vacation rental property located at 2875 North Las Felices Road, number 108, Palm Springs, California. Board Secretary, please ensure the city staff and the appellant understand their testimony is under oath.
I do have a signed affidavit from city staff in person. Anyone on Zoom who desires to testify under this appeal hearing, under the laws of perjury, if you choose to speak, you hereby and accept. Correction. You hereby accept and acknowledge that your testimony shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Mitch, I think it's your turn again.
Thank you, Chair Sinclair, and good evening, members of the board, my fellow city staff and members of the public joining us for tonight's hearing. My name is Mitch Nabhan, and I'm the code compliance supervisor who oversees the vacation rental enforcement program for the city. Before you this evening is a staff report for the property located at 2875 North Los Felices Road, number 108. It was found that this property was advertised and operating as a vacation rental on the date of September 1st, 2023, without having first obtained a vacation rental registration certificate. The elements that led to the issuance of citation AD 0585 are listed in the staff report. Additionally, the code officer who investigated the property is here to provide further testimony of what led to the citation issuance. At this time, I ask that issuing officer, Officer Whitaker, who's joining us via Zoom tonight, unmute, and provide his testimony.
Mr. Whitaker, looks like you're up again.
Yes.
I think
and
you're
I
the only one
unmuted-
working. in
I unmuted
compliance.
ahead of time.
You're the only one working in compliance this month.
Correct. And I'm away at training this week, so explains my Zoom appearance. So good evening, members of the board, my fellow city staff and members of the public attending this evening's hearing. My name is Jason Whitaker and I'm a code compliance officer for the city of Palm Springs. On Friday, September 1st, 2023, while conducting a review of available rental listings in the city of Palm Springs on the web-based booking platform Airbnb.com, I came across an advertisement titled Palm Springs Blue Desert Condo, which can be found as attachment number 5 in the staff report. While reviewing the advertisement, it stated that the one-bedroom condo was being offered for up to 4 guests. I was unable to find a city ID on the advertisement as required for a registered vacation rental property. And I'm also aware that this community does not allow short-term vacation rentals. So I did review the photos contained within the ad and I was able to positively identify the property addresses. And I'm not sure if I have the address correct. I'm really sorry because I don't have all my notes with me this evening, but I have it as 2821 North Los Felices Road. And I think Mitch had said 2875. So if I transpose any numbers, I apologize. North Los Felices Road, unit number 108. Upon review of the city's vacation rental registration records, I confirmed that the property identified did not hold a vacation rental registration certificate. I then sent a message via the Airbnb.com contact host feature, which can be found in attachment number 6 of the staff report, inquiring about a 3-night stay arriving Friday, September 29th, 2023, and departing on Monday, October 2nd, 2023. My message stated, "Hi, Ashley, we are coming to Palm Springs for the weekend of September 29th through October 2nd, 2023. And we wanted to see if there's a possibility of checking in a little early. If not, not a deal breaker, thanks." The host, Ashley, responded to my inquiry with the following: "Hello, great, early check-in is a possibility. I will double check with the cleaning team and let you know soon regarding an early check-in. Do you have a time in mind?" I responded, "I'm thinking like 2:30 p.m. After sending this last message to the host, I was sent an invitation to book by Ashley for a 3-night stay for the dates of September 29th, 2023 through October 2nd, 2023. Ashley also sent a final message after the invitation to book was sent stating, quote, yes, absolutely you can," unquote. If you refer to the guest reviews, which were added as an additional agenda item this evening, and I apologize, I don't have the page number in the staff report. It was added after the fact. But there were some additional or updated Airbnb messages and advertising indicating that the property had 20 guest reviews, which began in November 2021 through April of 2023. Of the 20 reviews, 19 of them specifically mentioned short-term stays ranging from 3 nights to a few weeks. While reviewing the appellant's written statement, which can be found as attachment number 3 of the staff report, the name of the appellant, Ashley Daniels, seemingly lines up with the name of the host of the Airbnb advertisement, which is also Ashley. The advertisement has no mention of a property management company name, and the host profile did not have any other rental properties linked to it, as most property management company host profiles do on Airbnb. The appellant's written statement points out that the property has had at least 2 3-month leases, yet she specifically stated that the property has had at least, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong line. The appellant's written statement points out that the property has had at least 2 3-month leases, yet she specifically stated that as of September 5th, 2023, the property has not been functioning as a short-term vacation rental and has rented on a 3-month lease with Wright Transportation, Inc. The statement as of September 5th, 2023, the property has not been functioning as a short-term rental demonstrates that that prior to that date, it was operating as a short-term rental. Additionally, reading there were some additional materials that were submitted by the appellant, I believe today, in that packet of paperwork was a lease. I had limited time to review it since I was at training today. But I did review the lease that was submitted. I don't see any signatures from a tenant on this lease, whether it be a physical signature or a DocuSign signature. I just see a couple of initials. So I'm not sure what the validity of that document is. As a result of my findings contained within the advertisement, the unique response to my inquiry, as well as the host's invitation to book for a 3-night stay, I found that the property located at 2821 North Los Felices Road, Unit 108, was in violation of PSMC 5.25.040A. And I issued administrative citation number AB 0585 to the property owner on title, Sound Teaching LLC, care of Ashley Daniels. That will conclude my testimony. I will hand it back over to Mitch, and I'm available for any questions you may have.
Anything else, Mitch?
Sure, just a couple of points to clarify. So I know Officer Whitaker had mentioned that he may have gotten the address mixed up. So I want to confirm that the property that was found in violation and was ultimately issued a citation is 2875 North Felices Road, number 108. As you can see on page 45 of the staff report, those are our investigative comparison photos, how we tie the property to the physical address based off of the advertisement. Additionally, on page 54 is the title report indicating the address as 2875 North Los Felices Road, number 108, with the primary owner being Sound Teaching. And then one last point, Officer Whitaker had mentioned the additional materials. That's included in your staff report as item 6, updated guest reviews from staff. Those reviews, which many of which indicate 3-night stay, stayed a few weeks, 3-night stay, 4-night stay, and those reviews begin on page number 1 through pages number 5. And I believe is during the time period that Officer Whitaker mentioned, from November 2021 to the most recent review that was left in April of 2023. So just those couple points of clarity, and that'll conclude what the city has to present. Thanks.
Thank you, officer. We have questions?
I have one. Jason, or maybe Mitch, did this address or unit ever have a vacation rental certificate issued? Do we know?
So looking at the city's records, there were units at 2875 North Felices Road that at one point did have vacation rental registration certificates. This particular unit number 108, never did. There was a change in, I believe, HOA management for this particular association, where there was a previous board member who, while they didn't allow short-term rentals, they were submitting the authorization letters. So that's why there were at a time registration certificates issued for this particular HOA. But from what I understand, that HOA board member left the board, and the current board no longer issues those authorization letters. So all of the it looks like there was 4 that were issued for that particular address have been canceled as of now, because when renewal time came, they were not renewed because they weren't able to get those authorization letters.
Okay. And then Jason, I think you referenced a lease in your comments. Is that in the attachments?
It's another.
It's the other one, yeah.
Back
it's the additional.
It's one back.
Mitch, I just wanna like point out, so that's why there's a little confusion. There's like literally 3 appeals on this agenda on North Los Felices
That's
Road.
correct.
Is that like, is that by accident?
So there's a property manager in one of the particular units that became very engaged with the city as far as recognizing that there were multiple properties that were potentially operating as unregistered rentals within their HOA in violation. And so that information was all brought to our officers to investigate and take action. So Officer Whitaker, and along with myself, actually did some investigative work on site and found a number of ads and were able to match them up with physical addresses within those 2
So it is
condo
no
complexes.
accident. Gotcha. Thank you.
So I assume you didn't have any contract summaries or TOT being paid.
That's correct. So without a registration certificate, they wouldn't have been issued a TOT number to be able to remit those.
Michael?
So in the additional information where we have all the reviews, highlighted in yellow, it says like 3-night stay, 4-night stay, 3-night stay, 3-night stay, stayed a few weeks. In the kind of main part of the staff report where it lists the, or shows the Airbnb ad, that is not, it doesn't list those length of stays. Where did that come from?
So while doing his due diligence in preparation for the appeals hearing, when Officer Whitaker re-reviewed the advertisement, it appeared to be a new feature that was added onto Airbnb for his particular profile, where it indicated those, 2-night stay, 3-night stay. And so that's how we were able to obtain, those additional materials with those specific night
Interesting.
stays in
Okay.
there versus the original ad as found back in the beginning of September.
Okay, and then you had mentioned at the end of the staff report where I think you guys research the ownership of the property. Is Ashley the owner? Is she part of that LLC?
So as far as we know, Ashley was the individual that reached out in response to the notice that was sent to the Sound Teaching LLC mailing address.
Okay,
So we believe her to be one of the agents of the LLC.
okay, thank you.
Were the other 2 that you found the same LLC, Mitch?
No, they're
Okay.
different property owners.
Yeah, just for that. Okay, any other questions from the board? I would like to open the appellant hearing. The appellant has up to 10 minutes to speak. Any member of the public who wishes to speak has up to 3 minutes. If the member of the public speaks, the appellant will have an opportunity to have 2 minutes of rebuttal. So, Madam Clerk, we don't need to do anything but ask the appellant to speak.
The appellant is online, Ashley Daniels.
Great, thanks.
Good evening.
You have up to 10 minutes to speak, starting now.
Good evening to the board and the public. I'm actually a member of the LLC and I'm here to represent the LLC. So here in the other cases, I don't think there's much that we can do here, but I will kind of clarify some things just on the Sound Teaching side. And then from there, I'll just have a comment towards the end. But from 2021, since we've made renovations, you can tell the renovations in the actual Airbnb or the actual listing, which is the condo. It was never intended for a permanent lease, but our target market was travel nurses, fully furnished, and then those businesses who still need an address for locals in the Palm Spring area. Now, however, we had a property management company called Prescott Property Management. It's a private independent company, and they were managing the property since there. It was more of a personal relationship. It had nothing to do with anything major or anything larger. Now, from our understanding, because we have little eyesight or sight of this property, it was always supposed to be on the 30 or 28 days or more. So we didn't have any recollection or any knowledge of city policy, city law, city ordinance, or any of that information, because it was the property's management position to make sure they would uphold an HOA rules, city laws, ordinance, and all the other things. Now, at this point, I'm not disputing any of the city's investigation because I have to do my own investigation with the property management company, because from 2023, outside of the leases up into 2021, I'm not aware of any short-term rentals. The other members of the LOC aren't aware of any other of the short-term rentals that's indicated in your investigation for 3 days or less, because there's been so many other things happening with this property. We've only been engaged when there was a building fire, when it was drug activity, when there was things that's happening as far as the HOA, but not necessarily any type of rentals. Now, however, we are going against the property management company, because that's one of the things that we need to find out is where was all these short-term rentals happening? Where is the money if it was happening, and et cetera. And then in addition to that, my comment is we only appealed because we thought there was some type of ramification or remedy. If we've known that it wasn't a remedy for it and it was a strict ordinance or law to say, hey, we have to uphold this regardless, we probably would have made a different decision in our appeal process and use those funds towards other expenses, because this property doesn't make any type of money for us. It's a complete write-off. So we don't have any income coming in besides expenses, which HOA is a whole different story for this property. At some point, we would get rid of it. But we would have used that almost to $1,000 to even pay the city's fine of $5,000, because we don't really care about being banned or permanently banned from Airbnb, because that's not what we do, or that was never our intention. But we could have used that funds for other expenses, because we do have to hire an attorney. We do have to go against the property management company. Now, in addition, we have to pay $5,000 for a city violation that we have no understanding of how it took place. So that's one of the comments that I do have. If that information was available when making this appeal, it probably would have caused us to take a different route when we decided to appeal this case, knowing that it was going to be upheld and there was no room for dismissal or even a partial dismissal. So from there, if you have any clarifying questions, I can, but I wasn't aware until we actually got the violation of all the things that's been happening. So we're doing our own investigation as well.
Thank you for your honesty and your candor in this case. We appreciate it, certainly. Any questions? Michael?
So you said you had a management company taking care of it. Are they local?
So they're out of Moreno Valley. That's their address, is Moreno Valley, California.
But they don't necessarily, or not that you know of anyway, have a local person here. The reason I'm asking is that there is so much excitement, use that term loosely, around all the city's rules that that management company, I would, in my opinion, is they should have known.
Yeah.
Whether they were doing the right thing by you or not is a different issue, but they should have known. And there are, from what we're seeing here, at least 19 short-term stays. So, that wasn't an accident, that they were intending a short-term rental.
Right.
Again, whether they were doing the right thing by you or not that doesn't involve us, but clearly that management company was intending to do, based on the number of them, at least I interpret, they were intending to do a short-term rental. And if I could just, from our perspective, I never want people to think that, you know, this board is a rubber stamp. That's not true. What our role is, the way I see it, is to say, you know, was the city's, you know, in their investigation, were they following their own ordinance? And they're, you know, then that's what we're looking at. If the city followed their rules and the appellant, you know, did or did not, that's what we're looking for, and whether or not to decide to uphold or overturn.
Thank you, Michael. Anything else, Jocelyn?
I just wanted to clarify that you said you, or the LLC, that you represent didn't receive any funds from these rentals, is that correct?
Right, so according to the reviews, there's from 2021 to 2022. And from that point, like the renovations were just recently completed. So those funds right there, there's a huge discrepancy in the accounting. If there was 20 actual rentals, then we didn't get paid 20 rentals. So that's what we need to find out for as accounting and investigation behind that.
Okay, that's great, thank you.
Very good question.
Yeah, I don't have any other questions.
Yeah, like this is a little shocking. As a matter of fact. Any more discussion? I mean, I feel badly for this group of people, but. You know,
Yeah, especially as she's mentioned, they had 20 short-term rentals and didn't even get to enjoy some of the
So,
income from it.
my only discussion is gonna come, I think, later when we talk to staff about potential, I don't know, information around this appeal, as she stated earlier. In terms of saying, this is the ordinance, like, you can watch it. I don't know what the process is, and I don't know who exactly does the back and forth on appeal, so, Mitch, I mean, we can talk about that after this hearing is over. I think that's probably appropriate.
and the one thing I think I know the answer to this, you all have the control of the property now,
Yes.
okay? Because if we uphold this. You will tell you that you can continue to rent 28 days or more. That is not affected by this. So may I have a motion if there's no further discussion?
I move to uphold, both the fine and the ban on obtaining a permit.
Second,
I second.
clerk,
Vice Chair Vanessa, Board Member Parker,
Aye.
Board Member King,
Aye.
and Chair Sinclair.
aye.
Motion carries 4-0 to adopt the resolution upholding the administrative decision.
Well, the decision has been upheld and this is the most egregious case I've had since I've been on the board almost 6 years and. While I'm not allowed to tell you what to do, I hope that you do follow through with this. And again, as I reiterated a second ago, you're allowed to continue to rent the property for 28 days or longer. And make sure you do your contract summaries. I assume you know to do that and pay the TOT. So thank you for your time today and we'll move on.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is for board member comments and requests. Do we have any of those? Oh, no, wait, I missed one. Formation.
Sorry, before you proceed, item 7 would normally proceed. I know at the outset of the meeting, you noted the appellant had requested to withdraw their appeal.
Yes,
Thinking more about it, I would just recommend that you just confirm that the appellant is not present. Just because it's my understanding the city clerk's office had told them that it could not be withdrawn. So just in the event that they did show up expecting to participate, I would just recommend that we certainly check.
thank you.
before we proceed.
The next hearing item would have been regarding Shepsell LLC. Is there anyone here from that LLC to testify tonight?
Not that I'm made aware.
So moving on, we're back to formation of the subcommittee to prepare draft recommendations to the city council regarding vacation rental ordinance updates.
You gotta approve. them.
We didn't do the minutes.
Oh, we didn't do the minutes? Pay attention, Wayne. Oh, I'm sorry. We have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 27th, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
I'll second.
Vice Chair Panessa,
Aye.
Board Member Kane,
Aye.
Board Member Parker,
Aye.
and Chair Sinclair.
Aye,
Motion carries 4-0 to approve.
I'll get this right someday. So the subcommittee formation. So, what should we do? Put Patrick on it and get a volunteer?
2 strikes and he's on it?
Yeah, I think so. Anybody volunteering?
I don't feel like I have a lot of knowledge yet, but I'm happy to help out.
Okay,
My question is we're missing a board member. Do they still make the subcommittee? That's why we postponed it last time.
I think, yes, they can proceed with forming the subcommittee. It's up to you, board, whether you want to proceed with forming the subcommittee and appointing.
Cassie, don't we have the recommendations we made last time?
We're losing notes, right?
Yeah, we have notes for it and I thought at one point we did forward to the city council, nothing was done. Is that correct?
It was during the time that group was suing the city. And so the city was unable to do anything with those recommendations at that time. They could not make changes. That was probably 3+ years ago.
Well, let's do this. Let's get a copy of those. David and I will look at them.
I think.
He sent a copy of it to David and then to me. We'll look at it and we just may say, everything's fine, let's resubmit it. Is that acceptable?
Yeah, if we haven't, encountered anything particularly new or
Right.
different. It's likely some of the issues might have been resolved because since then, there was a bunch of revisions.
Yeah, so let's,
So you
I
got
believe any of the revisions
related
address.
to, okay, so just like
that
take a look
previous,
for
but-
them. And then if there's any other sort of things that we've encountered, you know,
Yeah.
that we wanna surface.
So is the subcommittee, the two of you?
Well, should we just, like, I'm just wondering, is it urgent? If it's not, do we want to give Patrick, when he comes back, an opportunity to?
it's not urgent.
It's not urgent at all.
Okay,
Well, can I have a motion to table this item then?
So moved.
Sorry, Chair, I believe the motion you're looking for is to continue this item to the next agenda, correct?
Okay, yeah.
The agenda for the next.
I thought we already did that, but it's not, yeah. So is there a motion we continue this item number 9 until the next meeting?
So moved.
Second,
I'm sorry, Vice Chair Panessa,
Aye.
Board Member Kane,
aye.
Board Member Parker,
aye.
and Chair Sinclair.
Aye.
Passes 4-0 to continue to the next meeting.
And now we come to board member comments and requests, and I think the first thing we want to talk about is the November meeting.
Oh,
So I will be, it's right now scheduled for the 22nd, which is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I will be out of town. It looks like last year we moved it to the week after. And if that is an option, I will be available for that.
I think we did do that last year, and November has 5 Wednesdays on it, so can we have a consensus to move that 1 week?
Do we need to mention or?
I don't know.
Is that
I'll
for
ask
you?
Dennis.
To be frank, I'm not sure whether this requires a motion. I would recommend a motion.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Is that,
I'll make a motion to, go ahead, sir.
I believe the motion would be to cancel the regular meeting, or would it just be to postpone the regular meeting?
to the next Wednesday, is that right?
let's postpone.
I'm not-
We're not gonna get in any trouble.
But,
Is that all right?
Do you know how many are in the queue?
Right now, there's only 2 for November.
Do we know about December
There's also 2 in December.
Well,
So how about if I
Cancel
make this
November.
motion? I will make a motion to cancel November's meeting and reschedule for the following week. If we are allowed to do that,
November 29th.
and if not, then we would cancel the meeting for November.
Yeah, I think what I would recommend is a motion to cancel the regularly scheduled meeting on Wednesday, November 22nd. And hold a special meeting.
Yeah, we're allowed to have
Wednesday,
special,
November 29th.
yeah, we're allowed special meetings,
I'm not available on 29th, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't,
we miss you greatly.
I'm. So,
May I ask another clarifying question? If there's only two and two, can't we just, couldn't we just cancel November's meeting altogether? And hear the 4 cases in December,
Depends
assuming
on-
if there's another one that might. pop
Depends on
up.
how long you want this December meeting to be. Let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and have
I'm
it.
fine with that as well.
If Jocelyn's okay, I prefer to get it done, but we can wait a month. So the December meeting, though, we need to look at that too.
1, 2.
Well, that is like, so like,
It's a week after Christmas.
I put on
No,
my
it's the
calendar.
day after Christmas.
Well, it's
It's the day after.
It's the day after the day after
The
Christmas.
day after
the
the day
27th.
after,
The
27th, so I
27th.
worked around those dates
So maybe we better. keep your-
consciously. And that's where I'm running into problems if you're moving that, but again, it's not my fault. It's up to you guys.
Well, I think we should do the November meeting.
Okay, so your motion stands.
Okay, then somebody has to second it.
You don't need a motion, I think that's what I just heard you say. No. It's not a motion
We do need
required,
Yes, I believe you should make a motion.
okay.
So I make a motion or move that we, do we need to cancel November's
Yes.
meeting and reschedule a special?
Cancel
on
on
the
a special
29th.
meeting and have a special meeting on the 29th.
For
that correct?
for the purpose of hearing the 2 items that were already scheduled.
Yes.
Yes.
And typically between now and then, we'll
Get more.
get
The
more.
only reason why I know that including your motion is because special meetings, as you know, for pulling out for limited purposes. So you want to be clear on what the purpose of the meeting is, and you have to consider the 2 items previously scheduled for the 22nd.
You want me to restate the motion?
And any motion and anyone
I
that made
can.
this.
I think you got it.
As I understand, it Vice Chair Panessa's motion is to cancel the November 22nd regularly scheduled meeting. And hold a special meeting on Wednesday, November 29th, for the purpose of considering the 2 items to appeals regularly scheduled for the 22nd. If that's your motion.
That is correct.
That's good.
I'll second that.
Vice Chair Vanessa,
Aye.
Board Member Parker,
Aye.
Board Member Kane,
I,
and Chair Sinclair.
Passes
Passes 4-0.
Does the city attorney have any report or comment?
I do not.
Does the city clerk have any reporter? And then talk about future meeting dates.
I do not have anything to update.
So
do we have 2024 already on a
We don't.
schedule, like,
We can put that on the next agenda.
yeah, well, this helps
Or,
me be
yeah.
here. The more I know in advance when these meetings are, the more I work around that, and that's helpful for me,
Okay, I will prepare.
thank you.
okay, we're adjourned. Oh, we don't need a motion.
No, we don't.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.